Humanity had mastered the rhythms of survival, the fire that pushed night away, the hunt that fed the tribe, the shelter shaped from earth and branches. They read the language of seasons, the quiet messages of plants, the whispers carried across the sky by migrating birds. Yet beneath the strength of bone and sinew, beneath the instinct for life and the pulse of fear, something deeper began to stir, a silent ache not born from hunger, not from cold, but from the soul itself. The earliest humans would look upward toward a sky scattered with silent stars, and although they saw no faces, no figures, no shapes in the heavens, they felt meaning looking back at them, as if the universe itself carried intention. Something within whispered, "There's more." A longing older than fear awakened the yearning to understand not only how to survive, but why they existed at all. Their bodies lived on Earth, but their questions reached beyond it. Before words were shaped by tongue, before breath carried meaning, humanity spoke with motion. Hands moved like rivers, warning of danger, expressing peace, revealing sorrow. A raised arm meant caution, a bowed head meant safety, a palm to the chest meant grief. Gesture became the first mirror of the inner world, the earliest spark of communication. Yet in the throat, behind breath, a vibration waited, a seed preparing to awaken. The first proto-word, a trembling sound shaped intentionally, broke the world's ancient silence. And with that spark, the human mind unlocked a new frontier, the ability to give thought a voice. From breath and tongue came the subtlest miracle, the human voice. Not the instinctive cries of beasts, nor the patterned songs of birds, but deliberate sound meaning carried intentionally. Humanity discovered the power to name, to describe, to remember. Through voice, the world acquired identity. Through naming, existence gained form. To speak, river was to summon images of life, journey, memory. To speak light was to evoke warmth, hope, understanding. With each word, an invisible bridge formed mind to mind, heart to heart. Before symbols were carved into stone, before pigments painted memory, there were stories, vibrations carried through air, held in the living archive of human tongues. To speak was to remember. To remember was to survive. Beyond death, the voice became the first torch of civilization, a flame illuminating the corridors of the mind, binding past to present and present to unborn generations. Long before chisels met stone, the spoken word carried memory's weight, courage, fear, wisdom, gratitude. A single word became a vessel, carrying lessons across fragile minds. Through language, the human soul became visible. Memory became legacy. But breath fades. Voices vanish. Memories crumble. Humanity faced a new question. How do we preserve truth when breath is temporary? Stone offered endurance. Caves offered permanence. Time erases. Voices fade. Wisdom dies with those who carry it. Humanity felt fear, not of beasts, but of forgetting. Thus arose a longing for permanence. Seeking this permanence, humanity turned to symbols, marks carved into the bones of the world. So he carved, he marked, he declared existence upon the earth itself. Stone became memory. Caves became the spirits. Archive. Simple marks became writing. Stone became pages. Pigment became ink. Caves became classrooms. The symbols became the first pages of the written mind. He carved. He painted. He declared, I was here. This mattered. Rock became page. Earth became ink. Humanity answered existence with reverent declaration, I am. Symbols became the mirrors of memory, reflections of the inner world. Each carved line echoed the primordial command, be. Every mark was a reflection, not imitation, of the cosmic order. It was a reverent response. Language became a bridge, mapping the unseen mind as thought itself began to take shape. As humanity migrated, tongues changed, new rhythms formed, languages branched like rivers across the continents. New symbols, new worlds of thought emerged, yet all carried the same truth. We are here. Stories were not entertainment. They were survival. They were identity. They were the first torch lighting the human mind. Knowledge flowed like rivers, elder to child, night to dawn, generation to generation. Speech became the bridge between the living past and the unfolding future. And through language, hearts began to see one another. Empathy was born, the first harmony, the earliest unity of the human spirit. Humanity began to realize that wisdom must guide speech. That silence was not emptiness, but a sanctuary, a hidden chamber where meaning deepened. Before being born into sound, words were no longer mere vibrations. They carried consequences. They shaped futures. They could wound or heal, build or break. People learned to choose their words with deliberation, to weigh them as one weighs precious stone. For each word carried the quiet gravity of thought made visible. Silence taught them patience. Speech taught them responsibility. With this awareness, the early world grew not only in skill but in consciousness. The human voice became many things, a tool that shaped cooperation, a warning that carried urgency, a plea whispered into the night, a lament that emptied sorrow, a declaration of hope sent upward toward the unseen light, not a figure, but a radiance stretching between heaven and earth. Speech became the vessel through which the human spirit touched meaning itself. Centuries passed, and language deepened into culture. Words became songs. Songs became chants. Chants became rituals of memory. Drums communicated across valleys, echoing identity deeper than the voice. Every rhythm held meaning, every night of music a celebration of belonging and continuity. And above all this, not as a form, not as a watcher with eyes, but as a formless light sustaining existence, the unseen radiance remained. It did not appear, but its order was present in every heartbeat, every breath, every awakening of the mind. It had given man thought. Man turned thought into expression. It had kindled curiosity. Man transformed curiosity into discovery. Language became the thread connecting earth to meaning, the first temple of the mind. In this temple, thoughts became offerings, and understanding became a kind of silent worship toward the formless light that illuminated existence without shape or boundary. Thus began the age of symbols, the age where breath became story, story became memory, and memory became civilization's beating heart. Humanity had taken its next great step, from survival to understanding, from instinct to expression, from silence to meaning. Language widened the horizon of the mind. Through it, humanity began to see itself. Every word spoken today is a descendant of the first whisper of thought, a quiet echo of the moment when humanity first gave voice to its awareness. Speech became the mirror of consciousness. But time is a river that erodes even stone. Words fade when speakers fall silent. Memories dissolve when their keepers turn to dust. Humanity faced a new fear, not of beasts or darkness, but of forgetting. How could knowledge endure when breath itself ended? In this longing for permanence, humanity turned again to symbols, but now upon the world itself. Stone had endurance. Its cold permanence offered hope. Caves became the first archives of the human spirit. He carved shapes into rock. He pressed pigment onto ceilings. He transformed darkness into testimony. He drew the animals he hunted, the rivers he followed, the sun he witnessed rising each morning, the spirals that symbolized the mysteries of birth and death. These were not drawings, they were declarations. Each mark whispered, "I was here." Each line declared, "This mattered." Humanity etched itself into the memory of stone. The rocks became pages. The earth became ink. Writing dawned like a faint glow before sunrise. It is said that the formless light, the origin of all order, unfolded existence with a single truth. Be not a voice, not a sound, but an illumination that awakened the universe. Through symbols, humanity answered not with pride, but with presence, a small, humble echo. I am. Humanity had been given thought. Now it gave thought form. Every mark was a reflection, a quiet correspondence to the cosmic order woven into existence. He did not imitate the divine, for light without form cannot be imitated, but he bore witness to awe, turning wonder into symbol. Language became a bridge between hearts, between tribes, between the inner world and the world carved upon stone. New tongues emerged, new symbols formed, new meanings flourished. Every word we speak today is the descendant of that first trembling spark of thought, the memory of when humanity first found its voice.